Welcome to the Umami Podcast.
We're back. Okay. What's important about that early context to know is that some people came by choice, so they were passengers on the ship. I should know the name of the ships. I know some, okay, that's a question for myself, because we know so many other ships, like the Queen Mary, Titanic. Anyways, note to self. But some came out of, here's an offer to come and work in this country. There is something to produce, which was sugarcane, to produce sugar. And these contracts were written and contracts were handed out, but people still had the choice to say yes or no. But the conditions were different so depending where you were in India, there's North India, South India, and also the cuisine and all the things are different depending on the regions that you're coming from. But the people that came, so there was passengers and then there were laborers. So the people that made the decision to be the laborers, that's my story, the laborers, and that's an important part of it, because what happening from a food system perspective is, think about if you are signing a 5-year kind of agreement, you're not going to pack all the things because you're going to come back home. You're going to come with the things that you think are important. So I mentioned tamarind being one of them. Some of the spices, which is why the Durban Indian curries are so different to the Indian curries. They came with Kashmiri chilies, which got planted. So my predominant spice is Kashmiri Masala. That's the flavor, that's the redness. The curries are red. So you'll see it in the Masala fish. If I prepare it's that dark, deep, rich red. But only a handful of things. And part of, actually, I almost read it. Can I read something?
Please.
So I found this really interesting. Set it open. This was given out was served in 1874. So it's like this. I don't think the camera will see it, but basically it was a notice. And what's happening at this time is people have now come and the conditions are very crappy. So those promises were really being broken. And so I'm not sure if I should read the whole thing, but basically it reads, notice to coolies intending to immigrate to Natal. And they go on to kind of, should I read it?
Please read it. Okay.
So it's coming from the acting protector of immigrants in continuation of a previous notice, now has the honor to publish for the information of planters and whom it may serve the exact terms upon which Indian immigrants have been enlisted for service in Natal. So written by the Immigration Department, August 17, 1874. Notice to coolies intending to immigrate to Natal. You will be taken free of expense to Calcutta, and while there will be well fed and properly lodged until the ship sails. And should you be ill, the greatest care will be taken of you. When the ship is ready, you will be supplied with good clothing, the finest ships are selected, and the voyage takes about 5 or 6 weeks. The food, medicines, and other appliances on board are of good quality, and your health, comfort, and safety will be most carefully attended to. The Indian government has appointed officers who are most strict and vigilant in securing for you all these advantages. On and after your arrival in Natal, there is a protector of immigrants ready to advise you at all times during your residence there. You will be located on an estate where a medical man is employed. Your religion will in no way be interfered with, and both Hindus and Mohammedans, I guess that's a variation, are alike protected. You will find over 5,000 of your countrymen settled there. Keeping in mind this is now second notice, so some people already here. You will have a house rent-free to live in, with plenty of garden and ground to cultivate at your leisure, and care is taken not to separate families and relatives. The climate is remarkably healthy, and there is an abundance of good water, fruits, and vegetables. If you are ill, medical attendance, medicines, and nourishment are provided free of charge. You will be required to cultivate sugarcane and to make sugar, rum, and molasses. Great varieties of other work, either for strong men or for women and children, are available. You will have to work for 5 years, 6 days in the week, for 9 hours between sunrise and sunset, all Sundays and holidays expected. Besides rations, the men receive for their first year, so there's a value, so in rupees, at 5, I don't know what the currency was back then, monthly for the second year, and then an increase by half monthly thereafter, so stipend. For the third year, 6 RS monthly. For the fourth year, 6.5 monthly, and for the fifth year, 7. The women are paid half wages and the children in proportion. After 5 years, you may return to India at your own expense, and after 10 years, you will be entitled to a passage back. You will receive rations as follows: half a pound of rice daily, or for 3 days in the week, in lieu of rice, 2 pounds. Dhall, 2 pounds per month. Salt fish, also referred to as dried fish, dried fish, 2. Ghee or oil, 1. Salt. And that's it. That's the notice.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds like
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on the ship. The reason, the intention, which is what I learned about this particular thing, was they needed some good PR. So like, let's sell this dream. The point for me has been though around what was promised, and also that food system. So you're gonna pack. You're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get your doll. I'm gonna get my ghee. I'm gonna get my things. I'm gonna be taken care of. I'm not gonna have to like go and forage and all these things. I also only learned the word forage the other day. I don't know if you mentioned that. I was like forage, like pulling things from around. Yeah, it was. I think that translation and the impact of seeing something like that, and that generationally, that's what they agreed to, because it sounds wonderful. And then we arrived, and there's a community already living here, and I think really that's where it's such an important, like for me, this exchange is so beautiful because there was an existing community, and you bring 2 communities, and then you try to create separation.
And odds, you create an odds.
Create odds between that. And it's painful, and it still lives, and it's there.
Yeah. How did you ask about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's
How
definitely
it's
still there. So, and I think the biggest thing, right, is that these damn people in the past. But that's the thing, right, that you're bringing people and you're breaking this promise, right? So there's already pain in that community that's happening. But you're bringing them into a community that also will feel a type of way towards the people that have come.
Yeah.
But the thing that is present right now in KZN is a class thing, right? So in KZN, a lot of the Indian people are shop owners, are in business. And so I don't know how... because at that time, right, a lot of the Black people were living in homesteads, and if you think about, I mean, I don't know if the pass system, the pass like Dumpa system was there, that people would then come into the city and into those spaces, in and out, but when not living in those spaces. And so, yeah, I mean, there is a thing. There's a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
Black people thing. It's a thing.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
There's definitely a thing. And I think the saddest thing for me is how connected. I've never met you before, and I felt your story and your family and your everything through your story, because we are so connected
100%.
through these plates of food and the intention that has gone into that. You came with your ancestors and I came with mine, and that's
Yes.
what we created. It's powerful.
Very powerful. And I think it's so important to like talk about those things that connect us, because you know, when you KZN,
You feel it.
you can feel.
Sure.
So it's okay. It's in the feeling, but it's also in the language.
Yes.
You know, like how we talk about Indian people.
Really? You want like examples?
Okay, so like a normal example would be like thinking about going to the shop, and we're going to an Indian shop. Already, there's the anxiety that you're going to be overcharged. Right? Of like, oh, Indian people aren't there. I tell you, but like Indian people love money, and so you're already. It's like, okay, are you going to go to the Indian shop, or must you go to the big corporations where the price is there? You know what I mean? So it's those kinds of things. So, but it's also like, you know, it's almost like Indian people. There's a belief with Black people that Indian people have access to the economy that we don't have. There's a level there, right? And so, like, I know that my granny grew sugarcane in her yard.
My grandfather.
Yeah, but with the intention that, with wanting to sell it to make money, but never growing enough to access that market, right? And so there's that.
Subsistence.
Yeah, there's that like kind of tension of like there's something, or there was an agreement or something that made you better than us, and we can never attain that access that Indian people have, and then that's the tension.
Yeah. And I think like what's such an interesting dynamic for me is like whose perception was that, and who created that, and also like describing that the passengers, they were people that came, that were able to set up the spice shops that we relate to, and we're like, okay, cool, you have those kind of communities, and then there's this division that happens over time, and you're like, where's this division from? And there's something that I won't be able to like go into the detail because I don't know all the facts, but it's like a strong story in my family of the Durban riots, and that was a strong Zulu Indian clash. And when you think about, and a lot of lives were lost, and there was a narrative that was created that was not, I question those narratives, and how it's still very alive and very present.
And peaked its head during COVID.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
What happened? Was it also riots?
With the looting stuff.
Continuing?
With the looting,
All the Phoenix stuff as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my families are from Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, and the community is very close. There's Inanda, Phoenix, Verulam, I'm from Tongaat. It is Zulu, Indian and Phoenix is one of the largest Indian townships, Phoenix and Chatsworth. So my one part of my family is Phoenix, the other part is Chatsworth. And then during COVID, that was an electric situation that happened. And it was hard, that was hard. Yeah.
I mean, it's these things that I don't know. I guess it's because it's not spoken about. And then because it's not spoken about, communities live with assumptions about each other. And then, but it's also by design, right? Like I think it's also how the economy also then solidifies these assumptions. Where actually, I don't know. Like I think for me, if I think about school, the people. I mean, we all had connections though, like, but because when you think about Afrikaans people, there's so much shared, especially with our food, like Zulu food and stuff. And Indian people were the people that you could connect with the most, like in terms of culture, and how Indian and people honor their elders. It's very, very, very the same. Like even in the house, like taking off your shoes. It's like something that is done in black households as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's just like this thing that has been left to fester without check, without
And I think that when you go back to like the thing that connects us in its absolute depth, in its simplest form, like even like preparing, I was like thinking about what's like comes to like what makes me feel a certain way. You described a tin fish sandwich on white bread.
Wow.
There's like chilies and there's braised onions in there and it's like simple white bread, and we go to the beach with that same sour rice and potato curry, top of my mind. Beans curry will forever. I will die on this beans curry hill. I will preach beans curry until whoever needs to come.
Yep.
Oh, it's meaty rice. Like I remember, like it's dried fish chutney.
Millet. So meaty rice is millet.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Is that?
Yeah. Millet is mealy rice.
And it would be prepared like in a way where it's intentionally like burnt at the bottom, and then you go and you like scrape those pieces.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
We've covered the name
Wow.
in
Yeah,
several
we-
languages.
You too?
Voor mij
Yeah, we had that, but with like.
Make food, de mij ook KZN. Ja, ze hebben daar de fietsen wat moest af.
That's what food is doing.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable thinking, about the food exchanges that happen being born of necessity.
Yeah.
But also like, because food is food, it's also a pleasurable thing.
Yeah.
It's how to make this thing that we're trying to feed as many people as we can because of necessity. And as nutritionally as possible, but also to just taste good.
Yeah.
And that exchange was a pleasurable one, even if the people.
Food doesn't discriminate though.
Oh.
But on that other one, what I've been finding, like the stuff that we're not taught so much of the stuff, which is crazy. But I was just reading a Black consciousness book by Biko's son, and he was, I didn't know all of this stuff, but some of the original key thinkers and doers of that time were Indian, like in that inner circle.
Guys, I met this old tiny Indian lady from KZN who said she worked with Biko.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, at the it was what I think Bill Gates' wife was at that time.
Cash.
Yes, but they did this thing where they were paying
Like a tribute or a homage or
tribute
something.
to like different women, and she was one of the women that they were paying tribute to. And so she was saying that she was Biko's assistant. And so we read the things that were being published.
Yeah.
So can you see that our history?
We are connected.
And even in fighting against apartheid, Indian people are
definitely.
And the woman.
Definitely.
Like, just gonna shout out to all the Indian women, like,
exactly.
all the aunties and the grannies. Like, it's the story, and again, like I go back to, because I, in many ways, carry that spirit of, I'm saying the word innovation or whatever word, like that's like a fancy word in 2025, but like thinking about alternative ways to prepare things and to support your family, but also like I'm not a Ayurvedic practitioner, like none of that. I am becoming more and more aware and like asking questions around, okay, but why is this? Why did I put this much turmeric?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the meaning behind tamarind? What are all these things? And I think about the women who have come up with these concoctions over the years, and it's rooted in food as medicine, but also what Ayurveda as a, like, I can't say that I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner or like I practice it daily, but I'm very conscious of this balance. So like, if you are not feeling well, that auntie is gonna mix a pot of something called like rasam or raso, which is also tamarind, and it's like a liquid, and it is icy and it's a black liquid. It looks like, and the oil like goes to the top and it's like golden, and there's red chilies and there's coriander and there's curry leaves, and there's just magnificent, and spices are like toasted on the pan, and everything's just in this thing. And what I wrote as like a way of thinking about food and is around balance, and it's around wellness focused on seasonality. So you're eating based on what is available to you, and this is like some of the work that you do is like you're bringing and you're offering fruit and vegetable that is in season. There's a reason it's in season. And then being able to do something and prepare it in a way, the right mixtures. Every auntie is going to cook it all very differently. My spices, your spices, and it's also like each
spice thing.
Yes, and the ancestors can say and quarrel and all the things, but you would know. You got to feel that, and it's that balance. But also our bodies are so different.
Yeah.
So, for example, I know how I feel when I eat red meat. But I also like crave a juicy dripping burger, but I won't naturally gravitate to that. But you might, and your body needs that. My body needs more of a heat, more of a, and it's like, we know the sound of our voice, but imagine if we actually like heightened and we actually listen to the sound of our bodies and like the power of that. And I think about the influence of women over time, and they've engineered this thing, these things, and it's healing. It's developing.
And it's like it's always been there, you know. Like when you talk about it, it feels like I'm going back to go and learn about all the medicines that have always been there because we've been sold another world, you know. And so, like uncovering stories and ways that have always existed has been such a beautiful gift. And this was so precious to hear those type of stories. I'm very surprised. I mean, I've always known that there's always been this black people. And so